Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriet. Shramatam Swakatha Krishna Punyashamana Kirtana Hardente Swabhadrani Vidanoti Susnam Nashtapraya Shabadrisho Nityam Bhagava Sevya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. Hare Krishna, thank you all for coming today for the Srimad Bhagavatam. Today we are reading from Canto 3, Chapter 4, text number 3 and 4th one. So we are going to take two verses, verse number 3rd and 4th. So we'll start with the verse number 3. So I'll request Vindhyavali Mataji if she can lead us like in the chanting.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you very much for opportunity. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Bhagavan Satma Mayaya Gatim Ta Avalokasa Sarvavatim Upashrayasya Vrikshamulam Upavisat Bhagavan Swatma Mayaya Gatim Tam Avalokasa Saraswatim Upasprisya Vrikshamulam Upavisat Bhagavan Swatma Mayaya Gatim Tam Avalokasaha Saraswatim Upasprisya Vrikshamulam Upavisat. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Other devotees, please cite.
Bhagavan Svatma Mayaya Gatim Tam Avalokya Sa Saraswatim Upasprisya Vrikshamulam Upavisat.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Bhagavan Savatma Mayaya Gatim Tam Avalakaya Saha Saraswatim Upasri Bhashaya Viksha Mulam Upabhishat. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Bhagavan Swata Mayaya Gatim Tam Avalokyasa Saraswatim Upaprisya Riksha Mulam Upavishat. Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Bhagavan Swatma Mayaya Gatim Tam Avalokya Saha Saraswatim Upsprishya Vriksha Mulam Upavishat. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. All right. Anyone else would like to cite? All right, I'll cite. Bhagavan Swatma Mayaya Gatim Tam Avalokya Saha Saraswatim Upasprisya Vraksha Moolam Upavishat. Synonyms: Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Swa Atma Maya, by his internal potency. Gatim, the end. Tam, that. Avalokya, foreseeing. Saha, he, Krishna. Saraswatim, the river Saraswati. Upasprishya, after sipping water. Vrakshamulam, at the foot of a tree. Upavishat, sat down. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charnaran Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: The personality of God and Lord Sri Krishna, after foreseeing the end of his family by his internal potency, went to the bank of the river Saraswati, sipped water, and sat down underneath a tree. Purport: All the above mentioned activities of Yadus and Bhojas were executed by the internal potency of the Lord, because he wanted them to be dispatched to their respective abodes after he had finished his mission of descent. They were all his sons and grandsons and were given complete protection by the paternal affection of the Lord. How they could be vanquished in the presence of the Lord is answered in this verse. Everything was done by the Lord himself, Swatma Maya. The Lord's family members were either incarnations of his plenary expansions or demigods from the heavenly planets, and thus before his departure he separated them by his internal potency. Before being dispatched to their respective abodes, they were sent to the holy place of Prabhas, where they performed pious activities and took food and drink to their heart's content. It was then arranged for them to be sent back to their abodes so that others could see the powerful Yadu dynasty was no longer in the world. In the previous verse, the word Anugyataha, indicating that the whole sequence of events were arranged by the Lord, is significant. These particular pastimes of the Lord are not a manifestation of his external energy or material nature. Such an exhibition of his internal potency is eternal, and therefore one should not conclude that Yadus and Bhojas died in a drunken state in an ordinary fratricidal war. Shri Jiva Goswami comments on these incidents as magical performances. Hare Krishna. So I'll read the next verse also and then we'll discuss. Aham chokto bhagavata prapanna harena cha badrim tvam prayahiti swakulam sanjihishruna. Synonyms: Aham, I, Cha, and Ukta was told, Bhagavataha by the Supreme Lord, Prapanna of the surrendered, Arti Harena by he who is the vanquisher of the distresses. Ha, indeed, Badrim to Badri, Tvam you, Prayahi should go, Iti thus, Swakulam his own family, Sanjishanu would desire to destroy. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Lord is the vanquisher of the distresses of one who is surrendered to him. Thus, he would desire to destroy his family, told me previously to go to the Badrikashram. While at Dwarka, Uddhava was warned to avoid the distress which were to follow disappearance of the Lord and the destruction of the Yadu dynasty. He was advised to proceed to Badrikashram because he could associate with the devotees of Nara and Narayana. And in their association of devotional service, he could increase his eagerness for chanting, hearing, knowledge, and detachment. Om Ajnanatimirasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurulmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaham Dadati Swapadantikam. Vande Ham Shri Guru Shri Utapatikalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagar Jatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Shadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha. नमा ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचरणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतरणे नमो महावधान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरत्वशन्मा पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्त रूप स्वरूपकं भक्तवतार भक्तकं नमामि भक्त शक्तिकं वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद सरिया अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। So the verse, Bhagavan Swatma Mayaya Gatim Tam Avalokya Sa Saraswatim Upasprashya Vrakshamulam Upavishat. So here we are seeing that this particular verse is describing the how Lord winding up his pastimes. So we see, like, normally we generally do not want to talk about these activities because generally when Lord leave this planet, it's like a feeling of separation from the Lord, which is very painful. And similarly, we see tomorrow we have disappearance day of Srila Prabhupada. So even though Lord's appearance and similarly devotees' appearance and disappearance is both auspicious, but still when Lord departs, or when some pure devotee departs from this material world, even though they are departing just from our vision, we cannot see them from our eyes or from our association, but they are always in eternal Leela. They are always performing the eternal Leela. So Prabhupada mentioned that in the purport, we'll discuss that. The point is here is like, because Lord is disappearing, so Uddhava was going to feel that pain. In the next, in the verse number 4, is mentioned that. So the Lord instructed Uddhava, or suggested him, that you should leave this place and you should go to Badrika Ashram. Badrika Ashram is a place where all the great sages, especially Nara and Narayan, they are eternally meditating there. They are all eternally residing there, along with many other great sages like Vedvyas Muni and many other sages. So that place is the abode of Lord Narayan. So Krishna suggested Uddhava to go to that place, because this place where presently in the Dwarka, Lord is going to perform his pastime of winding up all his places and all his family members, which Uddhava would have not tolerated, because even though this is eternal Leela, even though this is just a magical show, like here we see in the purport, Srila Jeev Goswami mentioned that Lord's pastime is like a magical performances. So, but still, for devotees, it's a painful to see Lord's disappearance on this planet, and especially the devotees' family. So now here in this verse, it says that Lord Krishna, after us foreseeing the end by his internal potency. So when all the special or purposes were finished, see, when Lord comes here in the material world, he comes with some purposes. We remember that in the 10th canto, in the beginning, that all the demigod, including Lord Brahma, they actually requested Lord to appear on this planet to protect the devotees, because Kamsa and other demons, they acquired the post of king and various other important places, and they were creating so much havoc for the people and devotees in general here. So they requested Lord to appear and relieve the devotees from that distress and kill all the demons and all. So Lord appeared there. At that time, Lord instructed Brahmaji in his heart that I'm going to come here and I'm going to appear in the as a son of Vasudeva. So when Brahmaji came to know that Lord is coming here and he's going to take his appearance in Yadu dynasty, so Lord Brahma instructed many demigods that you, along with your wives, go there and take birth in the Yadu dynasty. Andhaka, Bhoja, these dynasties, like you go there and go appear so that you can serve, you can give your services to the Lord. So at that time, the many demigods, including their wives, they all appeared on the earth in different families in the Yadu. So there is one class of devotees like that. And then when Lord personally comes, he comes along with his own associates from the spiritual world, like Srimati Radharani, Balramji, and many other Nitya Siddha devotees who are coming directly from the spiritual world. So it's like in the previous chapter, we saw that it's mentioned that there are some demigods were there and some pure devotees were there, right? So here, when Lord is about to leave this world, because these people who are basically the part of the Lord's family, in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it's mentioned that Lord personally, Lord Krishna married 16,108. He has like 16,108 wives. And from every wife, he actually have 10 sons and one daughter. So, and Prabhupada say that almost overall together, they count, it was probably like more than millions of people within Krishna's family only, within Krishna's family. And then other Yadus are there. So it was like huge family. And they're all dear to Krishna. It's not that you have so many members, so like Krishna has to maintain them. Krishna has to really do work hard day and night. In today's world, raising one or two kids become like a nightmare for us. It's become so difficult that even to raise one or two kids becomes so challenging for us. But for Lord, it's not a challenge. Lord is like Lord. So he was very affectionately maintaining the whole family, Yadu dynasty. But when time came for Lord to go back to his Golok Vrindavan, he knows that all his family member, they will not survive without him. And Lord do not want to leave them here without his association. So here Lord decided that before he leave, he wanted all of them to go back their respective abodes. So here this the inhalation or whatever we say, like the process of leaving the bodies and going back to their own abodes is like, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that we living entity at the time of death, we give up our body, which is like a dress, and then we take birth again in some other form, and we take another body. Yeah? So it's like change of the just cloth. But for these devotees who are all associates of Krishna, they are performing their pastime not in material body. They are all basically performing their pastimes under the influence, under the control of internal potency of the Lord. So we have this material world and we have this spiritual world. So all the activity of the Lord that is being performed, even whether the Lord perform that activity in the spiritual world or whether the Lord perform the activity in the material world, they're all performed by the internal potency of the Lord. So here in this verse says that Swa Atma Maya, by his internal potency, means it was not affected by external potency of the Lord. This winding up of his family and Lord's disappearance from this material world is not an act of external energy of the Lord. It is internal energy of the Lord. So we see in the purport, Prabhupada say that all the above mentioned activity of Yadu and Bhojas were executed by internal potency of the Lord. So it's a difference, like For a common people here, we are all controlled by the external potency of the Lord. Maya Dakshina Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam Hetu Nane Konte Jagatvi Parivartate. So this material world is manifestation of external potency of the Lord, which is Durga Devi. Srishti Sthiti Prasadam Shakti Reka Chayeva Yasya Bhuvanani Bibharti Durga. Ichhanu apyasa cheshtate sa Govindam Adiksham Tamamajami. So this external potency controls all the activities of this material world. But when Lord and his devotees comes here, and when they perform their activity in the material world, those activities are still not under the control of external potency. Those activities are controlled by the internal potency of the Lord. So here Prabhupada says that because he wanted them to dispatch to their respective abode before he finished his mission of descent. So whenever Lord performs his activity, he performs in internal potency. We see in just 2 months back when we were discussing the pastimes Janmashtami, the appearance day of Lord Krishna, and before that the appearance day of Lord Balaram. We seen that when Lord ordered the internal potency, the Yogamaya, to transfer Lord Balaram from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. That was performed by the Yogamaya. Similarly, all these pastimes that Lord performed in Vrindavan and other places, whenever Lord performed, he performed under the or with the help of Yogamaya. There is no influence of external potency in the pastime of the Lord. That's why when we discuss the Srimad Bhagavatam is all pastime of the Lord. So when we recite, when we discuss, they are on the spiritual platform, they are transcendental platform, they are not on a material platform. These pastimes that Lord performed is all spiritual and eternal, and by hearing and reciting those pastimes, we get purified. So here Prabhupada said they were all sons, his sons and grandsons, and were given complete protection by paternal affection of the Lord. So as I say that Lord has a big family, and Lord as a loving father, he was taking care of every one of them. See, if we have 2 children, we can attend 1 children at a time. You can take care of one, or you can take care of other. It's very difficult to you can give equal time to both the children. Right? But Lord was so affectionate that he was taking care of the whole family very nicely. He was manifesting himself into different forms, and he was taking care of the whole family. So here Prabhupada said that he was giving complete protection by paternal affection. This is the nature of the Lord, that he take care of his devotees and his family so much as an affectionate father. The Supreme Father Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Pitaham asya jagato mata dhata pitamaha. Lord is saying in Bhagavad Gita that I am the father of the all living entity. So somebody might say, well, Krishna, you are the father, but mother might be someone else. But Krishna says, no, I am mother also. Pitamasya jagato mata. He's saying, I am the mother also for every living entity. So don't think that the mother is someone else. No, I'm the mother also. So devotee might have asked, okay, you are father, you are mother, but what about grandfather? There might be somebody who's grandfather, right? But Krishna says, no, I am the grandfather also. Pitamasya jagato mata dhata pitama. I am the father, I am the mother, I am the caretaker, dhata, and I am the grandfather also. So means whole soul Krishna is everything. So if we think that someone else is there, no, Krishna is taking care of everything. So here Krishna is saying that, well, these all his sons and grandsons, they were very much attached to Krishna, and they could have not think of leaving Krishna at all. So Krishna thought that before I go from here, let me wind up, and then they should go with their own abodes. So that's the affection that Krishna is showing. Krishna wants everyone to be happy and safe and secure. So as a father, like he was giving this fatherly affection that he want, before he want to leave, he want all of them to leave back their home. Generally, suppose if there is some some problem is coming, so in somebody's house or whatever. So the elder, the house head of the household, he will going to take care of his dependents first. He say like, okay, they should be secure first, and then he's the last person who should go from there. So Lord is doing the same thing. He is giving so much care to his family. He's saying that all of them should go first, and then I'll come after that. And here Prabhupada say how they could be vanquished in presence of the Lord is answered in this verse. Everything was done by the Lord himself, Swatma Maya. Now Lord was presently there while this fighting was going on between Yadus. So somebody might have a question that when Lord was personally there, how come his family have fighting? That's a genuine question, like when your head of the household is still there and your family is fighting, or family is basically doing this kind of fighting where they are ready to kill each other, that's not good. It means it's a failure of the household, head of the household, right? So if grandfather and grandmother is in the house and children are fighting, whose responsibility is that? Is that like, hey, you are the head of the family, you should take care why they're fighting? If somebody is making big noise and shouting at each other, and it's not good. But here some people might have questioned, how come Krishna is God when he cannot control his family members and they're fighting and they were drunk and they're fighting? If you see from a common perspective, one can challenge this and then present a view that why you are claiming that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and in his presence, his families, they are first drinking, they were drunk, and they're fighting each other and they're killing each other, and Lord was just watching. How is that possible? Because people can challenge, but here they cannot understand that Lord does not act, or Lord does not perform his pastime on material platform. All Lord's activity are on the spiritual platform. That's why we are discussing here. So suppose if this is a normal activity, would we be discussing here after 5,000 years, sitting on reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, discussing this? No, we would have not. And we are daily reciting and enjoying, because these are performed on an eternal platform, on a spiritual platform. So this is what main important point here is mentioned, Swa Atma Maya. And somebody might say, okay, that's fine. Like Lord might be performing this pastime on this internal potency. But what about these family members in Lord's family? They're all very devotees, and they were demigods. Why they were fighting? So they're all basically part of the Leela. They were all acting. The Lord want to show that, you might have discussed in the previous verses that when Prabhupada mentioned that when somebody is drunk, what is the effect of that intoxication? Like in ISKCON, we follow this 4 regulative principle, and one of them is that no intoxication. So I have seen that many people say, well, I understand that meat eating is a problem because you are killing someone, right? Meat eating is a problem that you might be killing someone. So that we understand. Illicit sex is a problem that because it's basically, other people are involved and it's creating problem in the society, right? And then gambling is also a problem that you're trying to fetch somebody else's money. But what about intoxication? You're drinking to yourself. What is the big problem? You can drink, if you are drinking tea and coffee, what is the big deal? People say that, right? Many people give this argument that about intoxication, But Prabhupada mentioned that intoxication create all 3 problems. When person got intoxicated, he forgets himself, he forgets other people, and then he perform all sinful activity with respect to whether he is a great person or a very small person, doesn't matter. They all engage in other sinful activity. So these people in the Lord's family is not ordinary people. They are either the demigod, either they are the expansion of the Lord, or they are the demigods, and they all came together. And one other reason is that they were so powerful. The Yadu dynasty became so powerful at that time that nobody could have defeated them. Nobody could have defeated them. And when the power comes, so much, it might give rise to other problems. When somebody get controlling power so much that he become overwhelmed with the power, he become proud of his power and then start misusing his power. So Lord do not want to leave his family here, and if they would have lived, they would have got misused the power what Lord has given to them. So that's another reason that Lord want to wind up. Lord want to send them back to their original abodes where they are came from in his own presence. So that's what Prabhupada said, that before being dispatched to the respective abodes, they were sent to the holy place of Prabhas, where they performed pious activity and took food and drink to their heart's content. This is like somebody would have said that why is the need of this? So need is that Lord is want to perform the pastime, and he want to create a scenario. That's like like even the Lord's family is showing that like a person has to go to place of pilgrimage and do this kind of activity. So in the previous chapter, Prabhupada mentioned that this going to holy place and performing this pious activity is not mandatory for pure devotees. For pure devotees, wherever they are, there's no need to go to place of pilgrimage to do this other activity. By performance of pure devotional service, they are always in connection with the Lord. They don't need to perform these activities. But these are done especially by the demigods, who are basically came here to perform the pastime along with the Lord. So here Prabhupada said, it was then arranged for them to send back to their abode so that others could see the powerful Yadu dynasty was no longer in the world. In the previous verse, the word anugyata, indicating that the whole sequence of event was arranged by Lord, is significant. These particular pastimes of the Lord are not a manifestation of his external energy or a material nature. So here Prabhupada very clearly says this is not related to anywhere with the external energy of the Lord. External energy is a servant of the Lord. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Maya Dakshina Prakriti. The external energy work under the direct observance of the Lord. Similarly, internal energy also. So, but Lord's personal pastime along with his devotees are performed under the influence of internal potency. While common activity like a common human being or common activity in the material world is actually performed under the potency of external. Such an exhibition of his internal potency is eternal, and therefore one should not conclude that Yadu and Bhojas died in a drunken state in ordinary fratricidal war. So here Prabhupada very clearly saying that it's not a family fight. Nowadays in Kali Yuga means the age of quarrel and hypocrisy. Kalha ka yug. It's just where there is always a disagreement between two people. This is the symptom of Kali Yuga. We see even in a family, like before Kali Yuga, there was never a debate or never a disagreement between husband and wife. But in Kali Yuga, it's common in every family. Like when there is a confrontation between husband and wife, it means it's a Kali Yuga. Because before Kali Yuga, wife and husband, they are always together. There was no debate, or there's no disagreement between both of them. But because this is happening, it means it's a effect of Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga means disagreement. So in Kali Yuga, we see fight in the family. And the example that Krishna shows is just before the beginning of Kali Yuga in the form of Mahabharata. So Mahabharata was what? It's Mahabharata is basically Lord is giving a synopsis that what is going to happen in the Kali Yuga. That there will be fight in the families only. Generally, we see the fight between the countries, between the nations, between the community, or between the other things. But you see in Kali Yuga, like there is a fight in the family. It's entering into like even the family work together with the common purposes, but they are fighting also. So this somebody might say that, well, same thing happened to Lord's family also. If it's happening today, what's the big deal? There's nothing, but good Lord was also there and they also fight. Their family fight. What's the big deal? So it's common here, no? But it's not that. See here, Prabhupada says that it's not that it's ordinary that people become drunk and start fighting. This is common nowadays. You see, like I don't know here, but like in the Western world, the concept of like I think this the family joint families, I think no longer. It might be there maybe 50 years before or 100 years before, but still in India, in some pockets, not everywhere, there is a concept of joint family. So in a joint family, the whole family used to live in together. And I remember personally, like not now, but like 50 years back, my family, like from my village, we have like two big buildings, and then we are almost 200 people in the family. Around 200 people in one family. So in that stage, like it might happen that people might fight each other, and then and this can happen. But this same thing where they can say, well, Krishna's family was so big, and they become drunk and they start fighting, so look like they are ordinary people. But Prabhupada say that no, this is not like ordinary fight in the family member. This is a perform on the platform of internal potency, which is still, that's why we in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 11th canto, this particular pastime is broadly discussed in one of the chapter there. So how this thing will happen. So this activity why we are discussing is because it's also on the spiritual platform. By discussing this pastime of winding up Lord's family also purifies us. Anything, whatever we are discussing in Srimad Bhagavatam is all on the spiritual platform, is purifying for us. And Prabhupada, and the last final here, Prabhupada quoted that Srila Jiva Goswami comments on this incident as magical performances. Magical. This is because this is all performed by Krishna. It's all Krishna's desire to perform these kind of activities. So it's all magical. We really cannot understand magic. When a magician performs some magic, so like it's for us very difficult to understand that how these magics are performed. So Krishna's pastimes look magical for the people because they could not understand. But pure devotees, acharyas, they actually have given the significance why Krishna performed this activity and how should we basically understand for our own benefit these pastimes, because otherwise, from a common man perspective, this looks like very ordinary activity. So they will not, it's become big, a question mark. Even, I'm not saying other people, even for myself also, before coming to Krishna consciousness, I had many doubts about this, especially this thing, that how come that Lord's family got destroyed. Because generally we have idea that when Lord is there, who can actually kill or who can destroy. But here the Lord is performing this pastime, saying that in this material world everything is going to be destroyed. This is another significance of this pastime, is that whatever we see in this material world, this material world is always changing. This material world, there is always a change. Things will never stay in one place, one thing. So it's going to keep changing, and they're going to be birth, they're going to be some growth, they're going to some sustenance, they're going to some reproduction, they're going to some dwindleness, and then ultimately going to die. So this world is actually going through these 6 changes, and then we need to understand that when this is happening with the Lord's family, what about us? So if we think that we and our family will going to stay permanently here, forget it about it. It's not going to happen. So we can take our life lessons also from this pastime about that. So that everything is temporary in this world, is going to get separated in duration of time. All right, let me stop here and see if anyone have any comments or any questions, or maybe somebody want to share their reflections.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Bhagavad Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you for taking my question. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
All glories.
So you were talking about the 4 regulative principles, and when you mentioned intoxication, one of the things that you brought up was coffee and tea. I do not drink coffee and tea. Fortunately, I was never into coffee and tea, so that wasn't something hard for me to give up when I came into Krishna consciousness.
Same here.
But I never understood the reasoning behind the no caffeine. And it's something, it's funny that you brought it up because I was thinking about it yesterday and this morning. So what is the thought process behind it? I guess I've never been able to really grasp why.
So my understanding is that like here is a common yeah, I'm talking about myself like in my office when I in the morning, what happens is like we come together and we have meetings like in the morning. Like that's the culture here. Like when once you go to office, we have like morning meetings and all or morning work. So I have heard many times my colleagues or my co-workers they are saying, well, my brain is not working because I didn't have my morning coffee. So and then other people say like, well, what do you need? Like, I need to have morning coffee. So it's so addictive actually. Like coffee and tea is so addictive that even I'm saying like even my family, I have seen many people even in India, like here and there. So if they don't have tea or coffee, they really can't work because there are some contents in those both tea and coffee which is considered like intoxicant. And when we take consume that content, it energizes us for the time being, but when the content goes low in your body, you need urge to take it again. It's a slow intoxicant. It's not that high intoxicant, which like alcohol content or whatever is not high, but the content in the caffeine and in the tea is intoxicant, which is slow, but it actually makes you like energize at that time for timing. But again, if you don't take it, it's basically you are craving for that. So my experience is that when you take those, it's actually like makes you addictive to those things, and then without that you really can't work. But if you want to know scientific reason, I can send you an article where it says what is these things in caffeine which actually considered like intoxicant.
Thank you, Prabhu. That makes sense. It's funny. I was thinking about it this morning. You brought it up, so I thought it was fate that I had to ask. Thank you.
Yeah. I always hear in my office that people say, well, I didn't have my morning coffee, so my brain is not working.
My wife is the same way, and it boggles my mind. I can't wrap my head around it. Probably because I've never liked tea or coffee. So
Okay. Yeah, same here. Like I never feel that okay, I need tea and coffee to work. You know, so that's true. All right. Any other questions or comments anyone have?
Oh, Prabhu, you were telling, why Krishna didn't interfere when the family were fighting among themselves. So what I understand is that because Krishna, everybody's independent in Krishna, and they are, the pastime of Krishna are not similar to material activities. That what your answer was?
No, I didn't get your point. You're saying that why Krishna did not interfere in the fighting between when they were fighting in their family?
Yeah.
When the family of Krishna fighting, Krishna did not interfere. That's what your question is.
Yeah. He was
Well,
present there and he allowed it to happen.
yeah, because
Because
Prabhupada, yes, because Srila Prabhupada mentioned here is that uh, what there might be many ways that Krishna, first of all, the Krishna was as an affectionate father. He was saying that if I'm going to leave this world, and if I'm going to leave this world with and these my family would still be there, then they will and eventually die without my association anyway, because they were so much attached to the Lord that they could have not even think of staying without Krishna. And there would be so much of crying, and people will be leaving body and here and there. So Krishna was as an affectionate father. He was saying that before I leave here in the world, I want them to go back. So he was saying what method I should adopt. He could have adopt a simple method that he would have bring a spiritual plane or like a transcendental flight, and then I would have sit there and then go. He could have done that also, right? But Krishna like perform this pastime that he bring his family members into Prabhas Kshetra, and then he allowed them to drink, and then he allowed them to fight, and then he showed that there is a complete destruction of the family. So why he chose this method? He want to show us that if you take intoxicant, this is going to happen. So the effect of intoxicant is that you're going to fight even. So what Krishna is saying, that when you take intoxicant, even you are in the Lord's family, this can happen. So forget about yourself. So like similarly, I would say that when in Jad Bharat Maharaj pastime, when King Bharat was like in a very high stage of bhava platform, when he was performing bhakti, he fell down from that place and he became a deer in his next life. So in that pastime also, our acharyas explain that because many people question why, how come King Bharat could fall from that stage of bhava platform bhakti. So in bhakti, is there a fall down? But what Krishna was explaining, doing that is that don't become completely sure that nothing can happen if we become relaxed. So even in the Lord's family, if they drink, this can happen. Intoxicants have so much of bad effect. So Krishna used this thing, and especially before Kali Yuga, Krishna want to show that there will be a fight in the family. So he shows that even in my family there is a fight. So don't think that we might think that, well, we are in Prabhupada's family. You see, right now we are in ISKCON, we are in family, we are all together family. So if we think that, well, because we are all devotees, so there will not be a fight. There's Prabhupada Krishna saying, no, if you are not careful, there might be fight in your in the family also. So if we have to follow our regulative principle very nicely, if you don't follow regulative principle properly, you might see that this can happen within our family also. So, and especially in material family, it's very common. Material family, they don't even care about each other. At least in a devotee family, we care each other so much. But still, if we don't follow the regulative principle, these dissensions can happen within our family also. And that can lead to destruction. What Krishna is saying, that if the family, there's a fight, there's a destruction. Whether you are devotee or not devotee, does not matter, there will be destruction. So we have to be very careful. We have to learn lesson from this. Krishna did not interject. Krishna is saying that, well, that's your choice. If you are going to take this route, there will be destruction. That's why Krishna, even see, before destroying his own family, Krishna destroyed the whole Pandavas family also. He said that when there's a fight in a family, there's going to be destruction definitely. And that's what happened in the whole family of Kuru, where Kauravas and Pandavas were there. There was a problem, and they could not solve the problem. Then what happened? They fight and then they get destroyed. Similarly, as ISKCON, as a devotee community, if we are not resolving our issue peacefully, it might fall. It might happen that also. So Krishna is giving us message that we have to be very careful, that we should not get infected by this Kali Yuga things, and especially not get into this. If you follow four-headed principle very nicely, there will be peace and harmony very nicely. That's what Prabhupada give. Everybody should follow four-headed principle and chant Hare Krishna very sincerely, so that we can resolve those issues very easily, because it's going to come. In Kali Yuga, everywhere this problem is there. We are living in this material world, which is so dangerous. And especially in the age of Kali Yuga, there can be problems at every step. So we have to very seriously take that process and make sure that we maintain our family very nicely. But if there is some slight like intoxication, here the intoxication is in the form of drink, but intoxication can be in the form of name, fame, money, power. These are also called intoxications. So if these things also can introduce, you see, there will be destruction in the family. So Krishna did not interject, being that Krishna want to show that all of us, that if this kind of things will happen, it's going to ultimately destroy the whole family. Is that okay, Madhu?
Prabhu, can I say something?
Sure, Mate, please go ahead.
My understanding is, this is one way he is showing for us how we should live, how we have to take care of these four regulatory principles and everything. And the other thing is, in this, he says Lord's family members were either incarnations of his planetary expansions or demigods from the heavenly planets.
Yes.
So when he came, so some way he has to take care of them and then disperse them,
Yes.
So that is the reason he must have done this. My knowledge, I thought, because if they are all still staying here and if he leaves, then, Kali Yuga has to come and then these things have to come. One way he's showing us, you need to live like this. The other way, he has to take care of whoever came, demigods from the heavenly planets. So, before his departure, he separated them by his internal potency. And before being dispatched to their respective abodes, he's dispatching to their respective abodes. So this must have happened. So that's what my knowledge I thought, Prabhu.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji, for
So
sharing.
every single thing, he is showing us in Kali Yuga how to live, how to take care of ourselves. At the same time, see how much he went back to his demigods and other, heaven, they sent to heavenly planets like that. Incarnations, family members. So that's what he did. First, he took care of everything, whoever came with him. He has to take care of them first. He did it. At the same time, he was showing us how to live, how to take care of these principles. And what makes this distraction, how to see this intoxication, as he will take like that dangerous turns. So that's what he was showing us also at the same time.
Yes, Mataji.
I thought like that. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you very much. This is so nice.
For a nice class. Thank you very much.
All right. Anyone have any other question, comments, or reflections they want to share before we end our call for today? All right. So thank you all for coming. Vancha kalpatarvascha अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय। लीला प्रपाद की जय।
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.